This tutorial is going to take you through the editing process from the card to your WordPress. I'll try to make it as simple as possible. You should probably follow this workflow for the rest of your assignments unless there's a change and we deviate from it, but I'll let you know. So let's get started. So we're going to go by this photo mechanic workflow guide sheet. So I'm going to take you through the process so you understand everything that's on this worksheet. Upload all images from your memory card into a folder on the desktop. Name that folder according to your specific assignment, example 10 best. So when you shoot an assignment, it records on your CD card in your camera. That CD card is called a DCIM. Your images are not inside that folder. They're inside another folder that's in that folder. And in this case, I shot it with my Fuji camera, so it'll be a different name here according to what your camera is. Okay? So this is where those assignments are, all your pictures. So the easiest way to do this for WSU students, when you come into class or you go to Open Lab or you're at home and you're working on this on your own, upload your camera onto your desktop and then simply open up the DCIM card folder and then pull this out onto your desktop. So we're going to give you a few minutes to open that up and then name it the convention. In this case, just for training purposes, 10 best. Okay? So that is way easier than creating a folder and then dragging those pictures, and it's already in its own folder. So just simply drag it onto your desktop and rename it. And now you can get rid of that. Okay. Now we have our card here, our folder here with all your images. The next step is drag that folder in the photo mechanic icon on the dock of the Mac. So if you have a Macintosh, and I'm sorry for you PC folks, I'm not using a PC, so you're kind of on your own on this, so just Google what you need to do with a PC. But if you have a PC, I'm sure you're very familiar with it. Drag this into the photo mechanic icon, which is this little circular wheel. And then you're going to get a thumbnail menu that looks similar to this. Okay, we don't need that over there, so I'm just going to drag it over. And try to use the entire real estate on your computer screen, just because it's best not to be distracted by everything that's on your computer screen. But I am going to leave the photo workflow sheet up and running. Okay, so these are the pictures that are in my folder. I pulled these up because I'm going to take you through the editing process. Scroll through the thumbnails to begin the initial selection of your favorite images by color coding them. Okay, so I'm going to choose one picture here because I want to fix the color on it. So we can see here that this sheet here should be white, and it is not. It's got an off color to it. I specifically shot this assignment so the colors were wrong. And you can see the different variations of the colors, okay? Because I knew that I wanted to give an example of editing. Okay, so I'm going to select a picture that I like, but it needs edited. And just accept that you're going to have to edit all your pictures. So I'm going to hover over the picture, and I'm going to hit the mouse once, or keyboard once. And then say I like that picture, and that is in my initial selection, and I'm going to hit the number 1. So when I hit the number 1, it's going to color code that pink. If I hit the number 2, it's going to color code that red. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0. 0 deselects it. Okay, so I'm going to hit it 1. But according to the photo mechanic workflow, since we're going by it, I'm just going to hit 2, make it red. Okay, down at the bottom here, you will see a color bar. This color bar is really important because it will help you understand and find the photos that you've chosen and color coded. So say I chose this one, and I'm going to name this, I'm going to make this pink. And say I chose this one. I'm going to make that orange. At the very end, right here, I'm going to press this button. If you look at the bottom right, I'm going to press that button and it's going to take your color-coded images and put them together. That helps to make, that helps you to focus on just the ones that you color-coded, okay? And then I'm going to take the scroll bar up top and I'm going to make them bigger so I can see them. Okay, so these are the pictures that I chose. Now say I just want to look at the pink. Go back down to the color bar and deselect by clicking on the colors that are up there. Those go away. Okay? And say I want to look at all of my pictures again. Just hit the end of the bar and it'll bring you back to all of your pictures. But right now I need a picture to edit, so I'm going to re-hit this, and then the pink shows up because that is what is showing on the color bar. Now, I'm reading the photo mechanic workflow. Okay, click on the last button where the arrow is pointing to select and deselect the color codes. Deselect the color, select the image, and choose the number 0. Okay, so like I was saying, if you click the number 0, and this is just saying numbers, you don't have to hit the tag. This is not a hashtag, so do not hit this button. Do not hit the hashtag button. Just simply the number. Once you've selected the final images you want, uncolor code the unwanted images, and I'll tell you what I mean by that later. Once you've selected your final images, fill in the IPT stationery pad for your caption information. Okay, so we're going to do the edit first. Okay, now I'm pretty sure I want this picture, and only edit the pictures that you know you're going to use on your WordPress. Don't bother editing the other pictures. So that's why it's so important to color code them. So we're going to fix this image. We're going to make it lighter, and we're going to fix the tone, and we're going to fix the color, and we're going to crop it. So I'm going to select this picture, click and drag. Now there's several ways you can get into Photoshop, but the easiest way, and you can say you have multiple pictures, so let's bring these 3 back up. If you click that, hit the shift bar, the shift key, and go to the end, it selects them all. So you select the first one, hold the shift key down, go to the last one, it'll pull them all up, bring these all down and to the bottom into the Photoshop icon, and they'll all pop up in Photoshop. So let's give it a couple seconds to do that. Now Photoshop has more tools than you'll ever need. We basically only use a half a dozen at the most. So I'm going to take you through this one image. But if you look at the top here, this is one image, this is one image, and this is one image. So the one that is highlighted is the one we're working on right now. So the very first thing I like to do is I like to crop it first. So the cropping tool is this square looking tool. So when you click on that, your cropping dimension marching ants will pop up. So we're going to crop this tight and crop it as tight as you can. Get out any distracting elements that you can, but you don't want to crop here because then you're cropping out the rest of the candles. We're going to keep the candles in there. This light's a little distracting, so we're going to go to about right here. We don't want to crop off his feet, so we're going to go about right to the bottom here, and then we're going to go here. Now, I normally do not like squares, so maybe we'll give him a little room at the top and a little room at the bottom, and we're going to make this more vertical than a square. We're going to make it as tight as we possibly can. Okay, so there's two ways that you can make the crop. You can double click on the mouse, or you can hit this check button up here. And that is our cropped image. Now, I want you guys to go up to Window and click on the History panel. This History panel will show you every move you've made. So if you don't like that crop, just click above it and it'll take you back to the original. But we like that crop, so we're going to keep it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fix the color. To fix the color, I want you guys to do this step. There's lots of different ways you can do it. You can use curves, you can do white balance, there's all kinds of things. But we're going to go to Image, Adjustments, and Levels. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to look at that. Image, Adjustments, and Levels. We do not use layers, so you don't have to worry about layers. Because this is not an art class, and this is all about getting it done quickly. So you double click on the levels, and then what you want to do is you want to find a white in your picture. Now, to the amateur newbie eye, this looks good enough. You would not know that there was a red tone to it, but I know there's a red tone to it. So the computer can detect color levels way better than the human eye can. So we're going to use the computer to do our white balance for us. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to double click on this white eyedropper. So not one click. One click will fix the exposure. 2 clicks will fix the color. So we're going to double click on that eyedropper, move it away from the picture. And then we're going to look in the picture and find what we believe is a true white. So this looks pretty good right here. Now watch what happens to this window right here. This window is going to show you the color scheme that you want to remove. So I'm estimating it's going to be about right here. It's going to be a pinkish looking color that's going to be half of this box. And then the A and B channels here, you want to make those back to 0. Right now there's no target. So we're going to click on here, and it's a salmon color, which is what I predicted. And then the A and B channels went from 0 to 13, and B went from 0 to 11. We're going to make those 0 and watch what happens to the box. It goes to a gray tone. Remember, your camera is made to read 18% gray. And that is for white balance as well as for exposure. Okay, now hit the OK. Go back to where you originally clicked, and voila, it takes away that salmon tone. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fix the exposure. So this is called a histogram. This is your blacks. This is why it's a black triangle, and then the center is your grays, and in the at the right is your whites. So this picture is telling me that there's a lot of dark in the picture, which there is. Most of this picture is dark. This white here is this robe, and there's a little bit of middle tones. The simplest thing for you guys to do is just drag this white triangle over to the beginning of the mountain. And you can see that the whites are going to be overexposed if you drag too far. So it's probably best just to drag to the beginning of the mountain. This controls your gray tones and your shadows. Okay? So you want your shadows to be true. So we're going to open them up just a little bit. And then these are your, we're going to give it back a little bit. You can see how this makes everything dark. So no two histograms are the same. It's just like a fingerprint. Every picture has its own histogram. So there's no matching one histogram to another. Unless, of course, you're working with the same exact picture. Okay. Now, once we're happy with that, and by the way, this is where you control the red, the greens, and the yellows. So you can see if we go to red, that will control your reds. It does have a little red to it. I never really do green, so we're going to ignore that. And these are your blues and your yellows. So that adds yellow, that adds blue, which blue and red equals purple. And we're going to take it back to where it was. When this window pops up, just click no. And that is our picture. So if we go up here to the original, that's what we started out with. And I'm up at the history panel. And that's what we ended up with. So we started out like that. We ended up like that. Now we're done. Okay, so now we're going to go over to File, Save As. And you always want to do Save As, not Save. Because Save will overwrite your original file. You never want to do that. A Save As will take your edited image and make it a separate image. But say you're doing your 10 best, and say this was wide, we're going to name this wide. Because say we wanted to do wide depth of field. Okay, now we're going to hit save. And we should always save it as a JPEG. Okay. Up here you'll see the image has changed. The image name has changed. So these are the original for the other two pictures, and up here it says wide JPEG. So we're going to click the X. I'm going to reduce these because I'm not going to take you through these. And this was the original, and this was the fixed. So say you were doing your 10 best, but before you drag it over in there, I want to take you through your IPCT stationery pad and your metadata. So for your first assignment, which is 10 pictures, and say this is, like I said, your white example. So first of all, before you write the caption, you're going to click on the eyedrop or on the magnifying glass, and you're going to find this panel. If for some reason your panel's not showing up, that's because it's hidden like that. You just have to go over to here where you see the hand, and when you hover over the side, it'll turn into that, and then drag it over. Copy the lens all the way down to the shutter. So Command C, and then go over here to the I, which stands for information. And then V. And then we're just going to backspace. We're going to make it all the way across and not down. And then we're going to add one more with the intent of wide. So this is what your description is going to look like when you do your 10. You're going to have your lens, your ISO, your aperture, your shutter speed, and your intent, which would be wide or panned or perspective, whatever your intent is. So all 10 pictures should have this image content description. And then if you, on your sheet, I tell you what windows to fill out in your IPTC stationery pad. That's not easy to say. Okay, so you would fill out your description. You would fill out your photographer window, which is your name. Your copyright, which is your name / either WSUPJ or Teach or Kent State, KSU or Teach Multimedia, whatever you teachers want to put. And then in the event location, your event goes here. So I'm going to pull this up a little more so you can actually read it. Though the sheet is in Blackboard. I just put it in there. Okay. So you would fill this out. Photographer, your name, your copyright information, your event and location. Your event goes here. The event in this case would be 10 pictures. Don't worry about the city where you shot them for this one, or the state or the country, because for this very first one, it was just a technical assignment. When you do the rest of your assignments, though, you'll be filling out this information. And then we'll talk about how to write your standard captions in a couple weeks. We're not there yet. Okay. Let me get that out of the way. Okay, so we're happy with this. And the nice thing about this, when you're working on your 10 and you're in your 10 window, and let me show you what I mean by that. Click OK. Okay, say we've edited these. These are your 10 pictures. Now, there's just 3 for example's sake. But say these are your 10 pictures. They're all selected. They're all edited. They're all captioned. Or they're not captioned yet, but they're all edited. I like to edit first and caption later. You can caption first and edit later if that's what you want. But do not write your captions in this window when they're all there, because you're scattered throughout the take. So go to here. Start with your first one. So start here. Copy. Click. Paste. Fix all that up. Save and go to the next one. Hit OK. So you get the point, okay? Because you have to do, actually, I like to do, when I'm doing a normal assignment, I like to do this and just move to the next one, but you can't do it with this assignment on your 10 because you have to go into the metadata. So you actually have to click this on every single one of them. So once you click this, you copy the information, you go up to the eye, you do it, and then you hit OK down here, and then it's saved. All right. Okay, so now we're ready to put our image into WordPress. So let's take these 4 and put them into our folder with our 10 best. I'm going to call this 10 pics. We're just going to simply take these and just drag them into here. Okay. Now they're in there. We're going to reduce that. Now when you drag them into there, they go away. So that's why it's best to copy, but I show you that in class because there's something going on with that, but never mind. Okay. So now these are our edited and our captioned pictures. Then we put them into our WordPress. So I'm going to go to WordPress. And you need to sign in. So visualsandvoices.com. So up here would be your URL. You're going to go to My Site. You're going to go to Add a Blog Post. So you click the Add button. So this is the window where you're going to add your first blog post, and your title is going to be with an active verb. So right now I'm just going to put XXX because of time restraints. Okay, so you would copy and paste your essay onto here. And if you hit the plus button, that's where you're going to insert your photos. So you're going to hit the plus button. Okay, these are photos that have already been inserted. Do not erase these because they'll go away from your blog posts. Okay, so we're going to hit Add New. We're going to go to Desktop, click on Desktop, and we're going to find our 10 pics, which is right here. So we're going to select them all, and we're going to hit Open down here at the bottom right. This church scene, by the way, is an assignment I shot for the Toledo Blade. It's going to take a few, about a minute to upload those from your card. I mean, not card, your folder on your computer. And try to put these in an order that's on your 10 pic sheet. I think, I don't have it with me right now, but I think it starts out with either depth of field or motion. So you can put these in the order that you want, and you want to put them in order that's on the sheet. That's going to be way easier for me to grade. Okay, in this case it's 1, 2, 3, 4, but you can deselect these and make them any order you want. So hit the Shift key, 1, so you just hit 1, 2, no, you don't hit the Shift key, 3, 4. And then just click them again, they'll go away. So you can see it, once you click, you can put it in any order you want, which is really nice. But for time's sake, we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Go down to Continue. And it can be a mosaic, or it could be thumbnail grid, which I do not like. Let's see what it looks like that way. Or you can do square tiles. Do not do circles. Tiled columns. But for this exercise, we're going to do a slideshow. And as you can see, it pulled in the caption that you wrote in Photo Mechanic. That's why you want to write your captions in Photo Mechanic in that description window, because it transfers over in WordPress. Okay, when you're done, hit Insert, and there's your slideshow. Okay, so your essay's in here, you've written your headline. Here are all the tools that you need for, to make your text bold or italic or provide a hyperlink. Let me show you how to provide a hyperlink while we're here. So say I'm talking about my blog, and I'm going to go to King's Class blog for more tutorials. I'm going to highlight King's Class blog. I'm going to go up to the insert link. I'm going to, up here at the top of your bar, your URL bar, I'm going to hit here. I'm going to find King's Class blog. I'm going to copy and paste, and I'm going to go back to Edit Post, and I'm going to paste it in there, add link, and that's how you do a hyperlink. So you don't want your HTTPS URL to be here. You want it to be called what the actual document or organization is. Okay? Now we're going to add our keywords. So we're going to go to Categories, and we're going to go to King's Class blog, comma, photo journalism. There's already one there, comma, white balance, comma, and you get the point. Okay? Now, once you're doing this, you can save it as a draft. So say you're working on you have 2 weeks, you've written your essay, you've written your headline, but you just haven't finished all of your pictures yet. Get as much done as you can, and then just save it as a draft. And you can see your draft up here. It is a draft. You don't have to publish it until you're ready. When you're ready, hit publish, and it will be published. And this is how it's going to look. So I'm going to publish this. We're going to go back to this house here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like on my blog. And there it is. Took a few seconds for it to load up. So here's your headline. Here's your slideshow. Okay? And that is about it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you.